When I wasn't doing YouTube on the side, which was anything that wasn't 3 months ago, I guess. Dude, weekends were like existential dread level shit. I hated them, bro. I used to sleep 5 hours a day each day of the week, all the way up until Saturday, and the whole idea was I was going to sleep through the weekend. Essentially, I'd wake up for ASX, which is the Australian market opening, and I'd work around that to NSE noon, and the reason why I'd work to NSE noon is because I hated trading NSE like market close, and I hated trading after hours. Now, I think the reason why I like hated trading after hours was when you're trading in after hours, there's obviously not as much volume as during like, you know, NSE open or something like that, right? But there's still quite a bit of volume, which can like kind of fuck with you. Like when you're trading ASX or like, you know, in the middle of the night, for if you just wanted to chalk it up to that, you know that there's not going to be any volume. So you go into that with that approach. You know that, you know, the bid to ask is going to be super large and stuff like that. The reason why that matters so much is obviously it impacts the price. Like, take a step back, look around your room, and ask yourself, why are things valued at the prices that you have in your head? And the reason why things are valued at stuff, right? The reason why your iPhone is valued at $600 or your Android is valued at whatever the price is because if you were willing to sell it for $100 underneath that price, there would be a greedy fuck that would be willing to buy that and try to flip it for a better price because you'd be selling underneath it going, I mean, the term is value. But on the flip side, if you tried to sell your phone for, let's say, $200 more than whatever you thought the fair price was, it'd be really hard to find someone that would be willing to buy that. And obviously the reason why it'd be hard is because there's already people that are selling your exact same phone for, let's say, $50 above whatever you thought the fair price was. So someone would have to theoretically buy all those phones before they eventually got to your order. Or unless you isolated some fucking idiot that didn't understand what they were doing and didn't understand that there's like a better deal somewhere else. Because even if you just fucked this guy like really hard and you sold him your phone for like $100 million or some shit, the reason why he bought it would still be like on paper because he didn't understand that he could get a better deal somewhere else, which essentially is still volume. Dude, you get where I'm going with this. The price of the underline is only the price because of the amount of people that are willing to buy it if it was 1 penny below it, and the amount of people that are willing to sell it if it was 1 penny above it. And there's obviously going to be a gap in between, which is usually the price. But if there isn't that much volume, that gap can be very large, right? Like if you're buying, let's say you're buying like an ounce of weed for $30 or something like that. If you take that ounce of weed and you try to sell it in, let's say, like Colorado or Denver, where they have like weed shops everywhere and you can just buy recreational weed, it's going to be really hard to flip that. But if you take that to like, let's say a middle school where a lot of these kids don't have drug dealers and whatnot, you're going to be able to jack the price up a lot because there just isn't enough volume. This is already becoming like a fire tangent, I'm not going to lie, but I see this shit all the time. A lot of the times I see people saying like, how do I make money without like taking a risk, right? And I see other idiots be like, oh, there's always a risk for everything. And it's like this huge cop-out. Like, yeah, there is a risk with everything. But if your like view on it is just like, oh, all things are risky, YOLO, dude, you're asking for a lot of fucking issues. If you're trying to flip something or make money off buying and selling something, yeah, how risky or your view of how safe whatever you're doing is should be your main concern. There shouldn't be anything else that should be more on your mind than not getting fucked. Like, I know saying shit like this out loud sounds random or weird, right? Because there's so much like motivational quotes and rap music that all center around just being a badass and whatnot. But don't ever forget, dude, anxiety and fear, you know, those two things that sound super gay, that's your survival instincts. So yeah, keep that in mind. If you want to buy something, don't forget that the only reason why whatever you're buying is worth more than zero is because of all the people that are willing to buy underneath, or I mean if it starts going up, the price that you originally got in, which is called your position. And the only thing keeping you away from making profit is all the people that are willing to sell above you. Technically, it's called the support and resistance, but this is already just a crazy tangent. I guess if you're like an inspiring drug dealer, this topic might be a little bit useful in the future. I don't know. No funny though, I feel like a lot of people think that stuff like this is just abstract, you know, math or whatever the fuck, not realizing that this is way more applicable to everyone's day-to-day life than they really think. Like, it really does explain like 90% of the planet. The reason why tacos cost this much or a hamburger costs that much is when anyone is trying to sell anything, a market is going to be created around that thing, right? Just by definition. And if someone wants to buy something, there will be someone that shows up and wants to sell it. That's the way it goes. But when you take something and you run it through society, naturally people like trade it up and down, right? And obviously there's going to be swings in both directions, right? The price of tacos is going to go up, and if it keeps going up, a bunch of people are going to show up and start making more tacos and then sell them for cheaper. And then if the tacos get too cheap, people are going to start selling better tacos for more, and this just happens like indefinitely forever until it's called the invisible hand finally finds an equilibrium for the correct price of a taco, right? And this is the reason why everything costs the way it does. Anyways, that's how you sell drugs, or that's how you survive. I mean, this is really how the world works, in all honesty. I hope I've inspired at least a few people to start selling drugs. You guys ever take a step back and realize that, like, human civilization is really just barter at the end of the day? Everyone at their core is selling something, right? Even if they're not, like, physically selling something, they're selling an idea. They're trying to pitch you on something, right? And that idea usually benefits them a little bit or whatever the fuck. But that's like life in a nutshell. The government is trying to pitch you that there's something out there to get you, so you keep business with them and let them expand and whatnot. A corporation is trying to keep business with you and is obviously going to try to pitch you that your life is going to be really shit if you don't buy their product, or your life's going to be like amazing if you end up buying their product. You know, it goes both ways. And this is pretty much what civilization is since the beginning of time. And, you know, I feel like when I say that, it sounds like so just like a big downer. Like, my little brother hits me up from time to time, and he's like, you know, you gotta teach me how to make some money. Teach me how, like, the world works. Teach me about the stock market. And I'll talk to him about, like, stuff like this, and he'll sit there and he'll be like, you know, that makes sense, but Jesus, that's kind of depressing. And I just sit there and I'm like, why? When you decide to buy something, especially continuously, it actually usually does improve your life, or else you wouldn't keep buying it. Right? It's really, I don't think the world is out to get you. Like, a lot of people, I feel like, get this idea that everyone's out to get them, when I don't think that that's the truth at all. I think that most people just want to be profitable, and the way that they make money is by giving services or products to people that people actually fuck with. I mean, people might not admit that they fuck with it. I don't think there's that many people that, like, their identity is like McDonald's #1 fan or some shit like that. But clearly, people are fucking with whatever McDonald's is putting out, because I guarantee you, if everyone stopped eating McDonald's tomorrow, they wouldn't exist, bro. There's no other way of saying it. And dude, even technically me thinking out loud right now is technically barter, because I'm like trying to keep interest and stuff like that. Dude, everything at its core is barter. Dude, even sex is barter. Jesus Christ, what was even the start of this video? Oh, I hate weekends. I'm just gonna beat everyone to the joke, bro. I need to get a fucking life. Alright, I'm gonna get some food though, because I'm hungry as shit and I haven't even brushed my teeth yet, and I actually just woke up. Am I the only one that drinks coffee when they wake up and then brushes their teeth? I don't know, but I'm gonna go do that right now. Appreciate all the support on videos like this.
I would love people saying, "Oh, Leafy, come back." I love Leafy.